Picture this. It's July 2015. NASA's New Horizons spacecraft, after a 9.5-year journey, is finally approaching Pluto. Scientists are expecting a dead frozen rock at the edge of our solar system, a boring ice ball. But what New Horizons actually found shook the scientific community to its core. They discovered things so bizarre they forced us to rewrite everything we thought we knew about planets. Imagine mountains made of solid water, ice, taller than the Rockies, a giant, heart-shaped glacier the size of Texas. And here's the truly mind-bending part. This tiny, frozen world, nearly 4 billion miles from the sun, is geologically alive. It's active in ways that scientists believed were absolutely impossible today. We're diving deep into the unsettling mystery of Pluto. What NASA found there has scientists asking some terrifying questions. What else is lurking in the darkness of our solar system? Stay with us, because you'll never look at the night sky the same way again. Let's rewind the clock. For most of human history, Pluto was just a blurry, distant dot in our most powerful telescopes. It was the runt of the solar system litter, discovered back in 1930 by a 24-year-old farm boy named Clyde Tombaugh. It became our 9th planet, a tiny ice world at the very edge of everything we knew, and we loved it for that. Then, in 2006, the unthinkable happened. Scientists reclassified Pluto, demoting it to a dwarf planet, and people were genuinely upset. There were protests, petitions, and angry letters sent to NASA. But here's the twist. That demotion, that controversy is what made the New Horizons mission so incredibly important. We just had to know what was really going on out there. So, NASA launched a spacecraft about the size of a grand piano, packed it with the most advanced instruments imaginable, and shot it like a bullet towards the outer solar system. The mission was championed by Alan Stern, a scientist who had fought for decades to make a trip to Pluto a reality. And on July 14, 2015, all that passion, all that work, paid off. The first clear images started beaming back across 3 billion miles of space. And as soon as scientists saw them, they knew something was very, very wrong with everything they thought they knew. The first thing that grabs you is the heart. It's the iconic image of Pluto now, officially named Tombaugh Regio. It's a massive, bright, heart-shaped feature stretching over 1,000 miles across Pluto's surface. That's like the distance from New York City to Miami. And here's the truly strange part. It's smooth, eerily smooth. You might be thinking, a heart on a planet, that's cool, but what's the big deal? Well, the left lobe of that heart, an area called Sputnik Planitia, is a vast plain of frozen nitrogen, but it has no craters, not one. In the cosmic shooting gallery of our solar system, where rocks have been bombarding planets for billions of years, a smooth surface is impossible without something actively erasing the impacts. On Earth we have plate, tectonics, and erosion. Mars has powerful winds, but Pluto is supposed to be a tiny, frozen, geologically dead world. It shouldn't have any internal heat engine strong enough to drive that kind of activity. Yet, Sputnik Planitia is young, maybe only 100,000 years old. Geologically speaking, that's yesterday. Something is keeping Pluto alive, constantly resurfacing this massive region. And scientists are still scratching their heads trying to figure out what it is. And then, there are the mountains. New Horizons sent back pictures of mountain ranges on Pluto that soar up to 11,000 feet. That's taller than the Rocky Mountains. And here's the mind-bending part. They're made of water ice. At the bone-chilling temperatures on Pluto, around -390 degrees Fahrenheit, water ice is as hard as granite. It's bedrock. What's truly baffling to scientists is that these mountains also appear young. They are jagged and sharp, not worn down by billions of years of cosmic radiation. And they seem to be floating on that sea of frozen nitrogen, like giant icebergs on a frozen ocean. Just try to picture that. Mountains of solid rock water ice, floating on a glacier of nitrogen, on a world 3 billion miles away. One mountain range, nicknamed the Norgay Montes, looks like it was formed very recently. But how? What kind of unimaginable force could push up mountains of rock-hard ice on a world that all our models said should be completely inert? The physics just doesn't add up. The math doesn't make sense. And that is what is so thrilling, and a little terrifying, for the scientists studying this incredible, mysterious world. Pluto isn't dead. It's alive in ways we never thought possible, guarding secrets we are only just beginning to uncover. But wait, there's so much more. Oh, there's so much more. New Horizons discovered a region on Pluto called Tartarus Dorsa, and I'm not making this up. Scientists nicknamed it the snakeskin terrain. It looks exactly like reptile scales, stretching for hundreds of miles across Pluto's surface. These are giant ridges of methane ice, all aligned in the same direction, creating this surreal alien landscape unlike anything else in our solar system. How did they form? Honestly, nobody knows for sure. The current theory involves some kind of complex interaction between Pluto's atmosphere and its surface, but the details are still incredibly fuzzy. And then there are the blades of Pluto. I kid you not, that's what they're called. In Pluto's equatorial regions, there are massive blades of methane ice jutting straight up from the ground. Some of these things are 1,500 feet tall. That's taller than the Empire State Building. Can you imagine hiking on Pluto and encountering a forest of skyscraper-sized ice blades? It's like something straight out of a science fiction nightmare. We think these blades form through a process called sublimation, where ice turns directly into gas without becoming liquid first. But the sheer scale and the speed at which these features form suggest Pluto's atmosphere and surface are interacting in ways we've never witnessed anywhere else. It's a completely alien chemical and geological engine. Speaking of Pluto's atmosphere, let's talk about that for a second. Yes, Pluto has an atmosphere. It's a thin one, sure, made mostly of nitrogen with some methane and carbon monoxide mixed in. But here's what's completely wild. That atmosphere is escaping into space at a rate 100 times faster than scientists predicted. Every single second, Pluto is losing 500 tons of its atmosphere. Think about that. And yet, somehow, it still has one. This means something is actively replenishing it. Something deep within Pluto is pumping nitrogen and methane back out into space. But what? Where is all that energy coming from? Scientists have thrown around theories like radioactive decay in Pluto's core, tidal heating from its moon Charon, or even cryovolcanism, which is exactly what it sounds like, ice volcanoes. But none of these theories fully explain what we're seeing. Pluto is alive in a way we never imagined. And we can't talk about Pluto without mentioning its giant moon, Charon. This isn't just any moon. Charon is huge. It's more than half the size of Pluto itself. In fact, Pluto and Charon orbit around a common point in space, between them, making them more like a binary system than a typical planet and moon. But here's where it gets even stranger. Charon is tidally locked with Pluto. They always show the same face to each other, spinning in perfect synchrony through the darkness of space. And Charon has its own deep mysteries. There is a massive canyon system on Charon that makes our Grand Canyon look like a crack in the sidewalk. We're talking about a chasm that stretches 1,000 miles long and up to 6 miles deep. Something incredibly violent happened to Charon, and the leading theory. Charon once had a subsurface ocean that froze, expanded, and cracked the moon's entire crust from the inside out. An ocean on a moon orbiting a dwarf planet at the very edge of the solar system. Let that sink in for a moment. Pluto is far from being a dead world. It's a dynamic, mysterious, and active place that is rewriting everything we thought we knew about the outer reaches of our cosmic neighborhood. What other secrets is Pluto hiding? The more we learn, the more questions we have. So, why does any of this matter? Why should we care about weird ice formations and floating mountains on a tiny world billions of miles away? Because Pluto is rewriting the rules. For decades, we assumed small worlds were dead worlds. They don't have enough internal heat to stay geologically active. They cool off, freeze solid, and become cosmic tombstones. Mercury, Earth's moon, most asteroids, they all follow this rule. But Pluto doesn't care about the rules. Pluto is active. It's changing. It's alive, in a geological sense. And if Pluto can defy our expectations, what else is out there in the Kuiper Belt, that vast ring of icy objects beyond Neptune that we completely underestimated? There could be hundreds, maybe thousands, of dwarf planets out there. Worlds with subsurface oceans, worlds with active geology, worlds that could, potentially, harbor the building blocks of life, and we've barely even scratched the surface. So, here's where we are. NASA sent a spacecraft to the edge of the solar system expecting to find a boring, dead ice ball. Instead, they found a world that challenges everything we thought we knew about planetary science. Floating mountains, heart-shaped glaciers, skyscraper-sized ice blades, an atmosphere that shouldn't exist, a moon with a frozen ocean beneath its shattered crust. Every answer the New Horizons mission gave us came with a dozen new questions, and that's what makes this discovery so exciting, not because Pluto is dangerous, but because it reveals how little we actually know about our own cosmic neighborhood. Think about it. If we can be this wrong about Pluto, a world we've been observing for almost a century, what else are we wrong about? What other mysteries are hiding in the darkness, just waiting to be discovered? The New Horizons spacecraft is still out there, by the way. It's now over 4 billion miles from Earth, flying through the Kuiper Belt, sending back data on other icy worlds. Who knows what it'll find next? But one thing is for sure, Pluto proved that in space, the impossible is always possible. The universe is weirder, more wonderful, and more awe-inspiring than we ever imagined. And honestly, that's exactly what makes exploring it so important. So the next time you look up at the night sky and think about that faint, almost invisible point of light that is Pluto, remember, it's not just a dwarf planet. It's a reminder that the universe is full of secrets. And some of those secrets, they're absolutely breathtaking. What do you think is causing Pluto's mysterious geological activity? Drop your theories in the comments below. And if you want more mind-bending space mysteries, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, we're just getting started. Thanks for watching. And remember, stay curious.